Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show on television. You're on The Point of View. We pick the right topics, get the right guests, ask them the relevant questions on issues that matter to you. We're interactive tonight as we discuss one of our favorite topics on City, rice as a concept, the rice revolution. Tonight we'll be talking to a Ghanaian who was consultant for a very important project in Nigeria. It's called the Buhari Rice Revolution. The Central Bank of Nigeria gave loans to over 3 million farmers to revolutionize their rice industry. Between 2015 and this year, they have increased their rice tonnage from about 2 million tons to almost 9 million tons. What was the secret behind that? How transformative was that policy? What role did our guests play in that field? We'll also speak to peasant farmers in Ghana and also check with sources in Nigeria how that is going. And all of this is happening as we discuss Ghana's own attempts to become self-sufficient in rice. It's going to be an exciting show. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Point of View. So tonight I'll be examining the Nigeria rice story, because here in Ghana we've been talking about rice for a long time. In fact, on City TV in 2019 we launched a national Eat Ghana Rice campaign spearheaded by our MD Samuel Atamensa. That led to some success, but it appears that we have not really translated the promise into self-sufficiency in rice. We still spend a lot of money importing rice. Now, Nigeria is saying to us that they've reduced their import of rice by quite a lot, apart from the ban in imported rice between 2019 when they closed the Benin border. They also managed to increase their rice production to almost 9 million tons and reduce substantially foreign exchange on rice. So how did they do this? What was the role of various stakeholders, particularly a consultant who was involved? Before I talk to my guest, who is in the person of Abraham Juma Odum, and before I introduce him, I want to just read a couple of stories from Nigeria for you to set the scene. So if you go to the Premium Times of this week, there are a couple of stories there. The first one says, President Buhari says price of rice to fall after launch of pyramids. The president launched 13 pyramids of rice paddy. The story says the price of rice in Nigerian market is expected to fall as the country launches 13 pyramids of rice paddy. President Muhammad Buhari has said the price of rice, a staple food in Nigeria, began upward trends when the Nigerian government closed the Seme border between Nigeria and Benin Republic in August 2019. The government said the decision was to strengthen the agricultural sector and curb massive smuggling activities, especially of rice on that corridor. The rice pyramids made up of 1 million rice paddy was achieved through the Central Bank of Nigeria's Anchor Borrowers Program, ABP, a program that was launched in 2015 to boost agricultural production and reverse Nigeria's negative balance of payments on food. At the launch of the pyramids on Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari said the measures will aid efforts at reducing the price of rice in Nigeria. Quote, the significance of today's occasion can be better understood by looking at the various economic strides the administration has launched and achieved through agriculture. When we assumed the reins of leadership in this country in 2015, the administration identified the Anchor Borrowers Program as an essential policy instrument for achieving economic diversification through agriculture. To achieve this, the Anchor Borrowers Program was designed to encourage investments in agriculture and empower smallholder farmers as drivers of transformation in the agricultural sector and as critical enablers of economic growth. Now, he says he's delighted that the Anchor Borrowers Program continues to receive commendations since it was introduced 6 years ago. It's become one of the reference points in the administration's agricultural revolution. Now, the president also boasted of the success of the program, which was established to provide loans to farmers through DMBs, which is deposit money banks, development finance institutions, which is DFIs, and microfinance banks, which the program recognized as participating institutions. Now, let me read to you a few facts about this program in terms of what they've achieved. Now, according to the Nigerian government, there was a time when the central bank was spending 1 billion naira to support the rice import bill. Today, the Apex Bank is no longer spending a kobo to support the importation of rice. Nigeria has become the highest rice-growing country in Africa, due to the support of the federal government in the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, we are told that as of the time the program was launched, there were only 15 standard rice mills in Nigeria. As we speak, there are over 50 standard and integrated rice mills, creating jobs and reducing unemployment. Nigeria has increased its rice production to almost 9 million metric tons. Prior to the introduction of the program, the average production of rice between 1999 and 2015 was less than 4 million metric tons annually. So here are those facts. Now, the other story I'll read quickly, still from the same website, Refund, which is the Farmers Association of Nigeria, say Nigeria will start exporting rice soon. And the story says the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria says the country will commence exportation of rice in the near future to engender the twin benefits of food security and economic diversification. Ado Hassan, secretary of the Kano chapter of Refund, said this in an interview with News Agency of Nigeria on the sidelines of the unveiling of the rice pyramids in Abuja. Refund reports that the pyramids to be unveiled by the president is a joint project between the Central Bank of Nigeria and its Anchor Borrowers program. We've already read this, no problem. Now, the man I'm going to interview was interviewed at the sidelines of this big event attended by many governors and President Buhari. He's in the presence of Abraham Juma Odum. You are welcome to the show. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
You are wearing St. John's School jersey. Is that your former school?
Yes.
A product of?
St. John's.
I see. Is that the best school in the Western region?
Well, yeah. I would say the best school.
I'm told there's
Actually, I did my O-levels there.
Okay.
And then came to Winneba for my SS4.
I'm told there's another school in the Western region called GSTS,
yeah,
which is also very good.
Yeah, very good.
Which of the two is better?
Our time, St. John's was the best.
And what's your motto?
Viam Parantis,
what does
preparing the way.
Viam Parantis. It looks like you are living that life.
Yes.
Let me show viewers a quick video of you being interviewed by a number of journalists at the sidelines of the Refund event. I'm going to show that quickly and come back into studio.
Going back home with the African solution works. African solution works. When I came here 2014 under the program Competitive African Rice Initiative, and I visited the states and the local government areas, the morale of the farmers was very low because of low productivity. Then as a leader, I recognized two things. Create inspiration, get results. Once you create the inspiration and you get results, things will turn around. I was the policy advisor, so I was to serve as an advocate between the farmers and the government. The first meeting I called, the central bank governor was there, customs, IGP, all the stakeholders involving rice production were there. Then we sat at a table and I asked a question. I've been to Benin, I've been to Zamfara, I've been to Jigawa, I've been to Sokoto, I've been to Kaduna, I've been to Lokoja, I've been to all Kano, I've been to all these places. Tell me why Nigeria is important rice. Tell me. I want somebody to tell me. Because in all these states, Benin KB alone can produce all the rice for Nigeria. Why is Nigeria important? They started giving me litany of excuses. So yes, there are excuses, but there are the other side of it. So let's start working. And we started working.
So how did they identify you at this event? And why were they asking you those questions they were asking you?
Oh, you know, the Refund people, they know me. Because most of the officers have worked with them, especially Aminu Goronyo, who is the president of Refund.
Aminu Goronyo?
And the letter that I sent to you,
yeah.
You realize that he signed that letter. That letter inviting me for the program.
Okay.
So
let me read portions of that letter as we go into the interview. I've put the letter on the screen as well for you. It says, Abraham Juma Odum, this is just January 12th, so this is, I think, 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
Member of the 7th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Dear Sir, invitation to National Rice Festival and 5th year anniversary commemoration of the CBN Refund Strategic Partnership Anchor Borrowers Program, ABP model, and flag off the year 2022 dry season farming. And it says, Rice Farmers Association of Ghana, Refund, has instituted the annual National Rice Festival to celebrate the success of President Buhari's administration's rice production, which has made Nigeria the #1 rice producer in Africa. The CBN Refund Strategic Partnership Anchor Borrowers Program model, an intervention program funded by CBN as loans through commercial banks, has become the leading strategic policy instrument through which these successes were recorded. Last year, the program attained the milestone period of 4 years since the launch of the ABP in Kebbi State on 17 November 2015. We are commemorating the 5th anniversary of the special program at a historic occasion. In recognition of your support and the key role you have played as a much appreciated partner in achieving these successes, we are pleased to invite you to be a guest of honor at the 2022 Refund Annual Rice Festival and the 5th year anniversary of the CBN Refund Strategic Partnership Anchor Borrowers Program. Date January 18. So this was, I think, last week. Time 11 a.m. Venue Trade Fair Grounds and Convention Center, Abuja Expressway. Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Abuja International Expressway. I will show you photos of the pyramids. There are 13 of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm told each of them contains
1 million.
1 million bags of paddy rice ready for the mills.
Mill.
So let's comment on this first letter. It says, in recognition of your support and the key role you have played as a much appreciated partner. So how did you get involved in rice in Nigeria? Because you're a former MP. I know you're Deputy Minister of Health in the past, Deputy Local Government Minister, former DCE. I didn't know you were a rice farmer.
Anyway, I trained as a rice farmer and a cocoa farmer when I was young.
Okay.
My dad was a cocoa farmer and then a rice farmer.
So you grew up where?
I grew up at Chifu Praso.
Chifu Praso.
But specifically Dunko Onofi.
Okay.
That's where I had my primary school. Mm. My dad comes from Denchira in Shayim, around Dunko Ofin in the central region.
Okay.
And my mom comes from Chufu Ayase in Chufu Etimokwa district or constituency.
So if you look at the Ghana map, the central region, that thin strip,
yeah,
that connects to Ashanti,
yeah,
Western,
yes,
that corner, that's where you're from.
Yeah.
Chufu Etimokwa.
Yeah.
I see.
So I had my primary school at St. James Catholic Boys School, Dunkwa Onofin. Mm-hmm. And then I proceeded to Alma Mater, St. John's, second D.
So you learned agric practically. You didn't go to agric school?
No, I have not done anything in agric, formally.
At what point did you become DCE for Chifu?
Okay, so after Legon, I worked with Cocoa Products Factory.
Okay.
Takrade.
Okay.
It was there and there I realized that something must be done. So I had something at the back of my mind that when I get opportunity, I'll do something. Let me say that at the middle school, I read a book, Makers of Civilization. And there, Genghis Khan made a statement which has influenced my life. He made a statement to the fact that the greatest pleasure in the world, to him, was to conquer his enemies, see women and children wailing. Then as small and as young as I was, I said, when I grow, my greatest pleasure will be to conquer poverty and hunger.
Wow. And
see women and children happy.
Amazing. So you inverted Genghis Khan?
Yes. So in the middle school, then I came to St. John's, and then I read a book called Shane. And Shane was a book that also influenced my life. A group of farmers in a community, when their products come, some tax will come and then push them away and take their distance. And there was this man who came into the hub, and his name was Shane. And when he came, he befriended Jim, a small boy. So when Shane was going back after freeing the community from the tax, Jim wrote, he was the man who came from the heart of the West. And once his work was complete, he went back to where he has come from, and he was Shane. So I said, whoa, one day I will also do a similar thing so that I will leave a legacy in the footprint of time. So these two statements really influence some of the things that I'm doing.
Before we get to the Nigeria story, I understand when you were in DC, you introduced cocoa spraying.
So that's why I'm coming to it. So when from cocoa processing, I move on to Dupont wood treatment.
Okay.
And the Dupont wood treatment, I came into politics.
Okay.
So apparently, I've had a stint of management at the two corporate bodies. So I knew how to manage human beings. I knew how to manage resources. Then I became an assemblyman. It was there that I bought 2 spraying machines for Ayase and then Bepobin electoral area, so that they could use it to spray their cocoa farms. At that time, most of farmers were cutting down their cocoa trees because apparently they weren't getting anything, because for a very long time, cocoa had not been attended to very well. So during the campaign of 2000, President Kufuor came. He was then a candidate. He came and they told him that this is what Odum has done. So what is your view and what will happen? So when we come to power, we are also going to do the same thing that Odum is doing.
So the mass cocoa spraying that Kufuor did
Yes,
was piloted
Yes,
by you as DC.
Yes.
Still not a practicing farmer at the time.
Yes. No, at that time I've also started farming.
I see.
Yes. And then...
Because your father was a cocoa farmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I lost the parliamentary seat, but President Kufuor appointed me as DCE.
Okay.
And apparently, as a DCE, I started revisiting these ideas of when I grow up, I'll be this, I'll be that. And that took me to Cocoa Research Institute. And then 2012, President Kufuor had invitation from Madam Sirleaf Johnson to come and help her or Liberia to do a similar thing that we have done to our cocoa. You recall that beyond it, Ghana started doing so well. So President Kufuor took me to Liberia to help them. And I succeeded in getting Cocoa Abrapapa to go to Liberia to locate there, to also start helping them. It was there that I came to a realization that Liberia, their staple food is rice. But meanwhile, almost all of it was being imported. Then I got worried. So I did a concept paper, brought it to President Kufuor. And we went to Washington. So I started talking to, the people that we met. And we happened to meet Michigan State University. So that concept that I did, they were able to scale it up to become a business model, which Bill and Melinda Gates bought into it. So we had what we call the Competitive African Rice Initiative, Kufuor Foundation and Bill and Melinda Gates. And we were supposed to do the advocacy as part of it.
Let me try and see if I can speak to a journalist in Nigeria now. He's with the Premium Times. We read a couple of the stories from their website. Mujid Abdul Karim. Mujid, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Thanks for joining us on City TV.
Well, thanks for having me as well.
So we've been following a story in Nigeria about the pyramids of rice. We are told over, I don't know how many millions of bags of rice, paddy rice, exhibited at a program in Abuja. President Buhari talking about a 6-year program to boost rice production. Is this actually true, or this is propaganda? Because I read one of the websites where some politicians said this was a pyramid of lies. So, what is this? Is this rice thing, mega rice pyramid thing in Nigeria? Is it true? Can you give us some insight into it?
Well, to be honest, it's true. And as we speak, the pyramids are still there at the place it was launched. Basically, the president has been the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has been quite deliberate about boosting local production in Nigeria since he came on board. And his mantra has been that Nigerians should produce what they will eat and grow what they eat as well. So in November 2015, the president launched the Anchor Borrowers Program, where farmers were financed across the country to boost local production of 23 major staple crops in the country. Rice happened to be one of them, coupled with the fact that we have large expanse of arable land, especially up north, where this rice can be massively grown. So the pyramid is actually a manifestation that, okay, this thing is working. However, it happens to be that while Nigeria has improved in its rice production in the past 6 years, the cost of the 50 kilogram bag of rice is still on the rise in the country. So maybe that is why the person you saw posted is saying these are pyramids of life, but actually that's wrong. That's false. The pyramids actually happen. 1.2 million bags of rice paddy were launched, with the mindset that if these are being sold to millers in the country, after milling the rice and injecting to the market, it's capable of pushing down the price of the commodity in the market.
Which is why your website wrote a story that farmer groups say price of rice to fall as Buhari launches the pyramid. So they are hoping that after the rice is milled and sold in the market, it will drive the price down?
Absolutely. That is what they are saying. But however, our interactions with millers, renowned millers in the country, shows there are some conditions attached to that. Being that, okay, if the paddy are sold to them at a considerable lower rate, it is capable, so that will actually reduce the cost of production, and which will translate to the amount the rice will be leaving the mills into the market. So, because agricultural commodities has a value chain, so each value chain has a significant role it also plays on the prices of this commodity when it gets to the market. So at least you look through some of our reports very well, shows that the price of the commodity in the past 1 year has rose by about 44.4%. So this has actually made it quite difficult for citizens to acquire, rice from the market.
Does the price rise have anything to do with the 2019 closure of the Benin border, the Seme border? We understand that there was some smuggling that the government wanted to deal with. And how did that influence this Anchor Borrowers Program and rice production?
Yeah, basically because the government were deliberate about the closure of the border in order to curb smuggling of this commodity into the country, which apparently is affecting the local production and sales of the commodity, where the local millers are saying, okay, due to the high cost of production of the commodity locally here in Nigeria, a smuggled rice is being sold at considerable lower amount than what is being produced in the country. So that is actually affecting, they are feeling the brunt of that, where the price of locally produced rice is actually being priced almost at the same price with that of the foreign rice being smuggled into the country. So it's not creating a level playing ground for them to thrive. So the government, to tackle this, the government actually close the land border and encourage Nigerians to grow the commodity in massive quantity, which is what we are. The resultant effect is what is being celebrated. What was celebrated last week here in Abuja by the launch of the plan to show that okay, yes, this policy is actually working.
Okay.
But the other side of it is the fact that despite Nigeria being able to produce more of rice locally, the price is still on the...
Fair enough. Just a quick final question, sir. Thank you so much. The question is, we have heard varying reports about how much rice was being imported from Thailand before this program. And some of the reports suggest that their importation of rice has reduced quite drastically, and that the production of rice has increased. Some people say 7.5 million tons, some say 9 million, I'm not sure. We're also told that the program supported over 4 million smallholder farmers. Can you confirm the exact figures? How much rice has the program produced? How much has Nigeria reduced its rice importation, and how many farmers benefited?
Yeah, actually, that's true. A personal check from our report also shows that Nigeria was producing an average between 1999 and 2015. Nigeria was producing an average quantity of rice of 2.4 million metric tons. But at the launch of, after the launch of the program, the Anchor Growers program, Nigeria's production rose to about 4.5 million metric tons in 2016. And currently, Nigeria is producing the milled rice, not the rice paddy, at 5 million metric tons, making Nigeria the 14th highest producer of that commodity in the world.
Wow. And
the highest producer of rice currently in the continent of Africa.
Wow. So I'm sure if you add paddy rice, it will be much more than the 5 million.
Absolutely.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Thank you for talking to us, Mujid. We appreciate your time. This is the point of view. We're trying to understand the Nigeria rice story. My guest is Abraham Juma Odum, who's the consultant, one of the consultants behind the project. He's given us the history of how he got involved. Later on, I'll speak to Charles Naa of the Ghanaian Peasant Farmers Association on their own views about this. And I have some questions for you. Some people want me to ask you some questions about whether the Nigeria model is replicable here. We'll deal with that as well. This is the point of view. Don't go away. Welcome back to the point of view. Tonight we are doing a case study of the Nigeria rice story. We're trying to understand by how much rice production increased in Nigeria, how did they reduce their imports, what can we learn? Interestingly, one of the key people behind this was a Ghanaian, former DCE, former MP, former Deputy Minister for Health, and former local government Deputy Minister. Abraham Juma Odum is in the studio. I just spoke to a journalist from Nigeria who confirms the numbers. He says when it comes to paddy rice, the figure is much more. But for milled rice, 5 million tons, 14th in the world. So what specifically did you do? I just want to know. So you were part of this carrying program.
Okay.
You were sent to Abuja. So what did you do?
So what I did, you know, policies are driven by governments. And for Nigeria to take a decision not to import or to import is a major governmental policy. And you need to advocate. So I was sent there as an advocator.
Okay.
Kufuor Foundation was sent there as advocator. In fact, drawing on the experience and then the goodwill of President Kufuor.
All right.
So as a policy advisor, I was in charge handling that aspect. One of the first things that I did, I went around, talked to the farmers, and then came back. And when I went around, I realized that the morale of the farmers were very low.
What year is this?
That is 2013, getting to 2014.
Okay.
So asking questions, I realized, one, their productivity was very low. And there was not too much transparency when it comes to fertilizer application that was being sent to them.
Okay.
So I did what, like Mojid was saying, to look at the value chain. And looking at the value chain, I realized I needed to call all the stakeholders. So I did a letter from my office to Central Bank, to IGP, to Customs, the Importers Association, Farmers Association, Millers Association, Input Dealers Association, and other financial institutions. So they came to my office. And then I asked that million question. That I've been to almost all the rice growing states in Nigeria. And I have a strong conviction that Nigeria don't have any business importing rice. Because like I said, Benin KB alone can produce all the rice. That was the place they mentioned that was first launched there. Can produce all the rice that Nigeria needs. So why that? And then, like I said, all the excuses that they were talking about.
Benin KB is the capital of Kebbi State.
Yes, Kebbi.
Which is a northwest state.
Northwest, yeah.
Okay.
Border Togo,
Benin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So at the end of the day, we all came to a realization that something must be done. And what must be done? I came out with a program. I call it reorganization and reorientation for the farmers, the input dealers, and then the millers.
Farmers, input dealers, and millers. I see pictures of you sitting with different people, traveling across the country. What are these pictures? What were you doing?
That was my reorientation and reorganization. I needed to, one, remobilize the people into vibrant...
As a consultant advocate?
Yes. As a consultant advocate, I wanted to get them well organized so that they can present a uniform and a unified solution to government for government to buy into it.
So these are the farmers,
the input dealers, and then the millers.
Okay. So here I'm seeing some pictures here.
Yeah, here is Jigawa.
Jigawa. This is northeast now.
Yes, one of the farms. The women.
So all this is 2015. Getting them ready.
Yes, getting them ready.
Okay.
So getting them ready from local government area to state areas, so that local government, they will have their groupings well organized with secretary, chairman, and everything, treasurer.
Ahead of the central bank financial thing.
And then Jigawa here, it was here that we met the central bank development officer.
Development finance?
Development finance
from the central
officer.
bank?
Yes. That he said, yeah, Honorable, we have money here sitting in the bank for import substitution.
Okay.
So your group, if they are well organized, can tap into it.
I see.
Don't forget, I told you that we also met the financial institutions, and they were also complaining that they give farmers loans and farmers are not able to pay.
So the organization of the farmers, the millers, and the...
Needed to
happen. This was the work you did in 2015.
Yes. 14.
So which states did you go to?
From the north to south.
Can you mention some of the places?
Katsina.
Which is north, on top of Kano.
Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, Benin KB.
All these places can grow rice?
Yeah, Kaduna.
This is the dry north, though.
Yeah, Kaduna and Niger State. And then Kogi State.
In the central?
Yeah, in the central. And then in the south, Ekiti, Ebonyi, all those places were visited.
Were loans given to the millers too, or just the farmers?
So what the central bank did was the loan was given to the commercial banks to be given to the three pillars of the value chain, the input dealer and the farmer.
So it's a bit like the development bank idea we are having,
yes,
where you lend to a group that can then on-lend.
Yes.
Similar to that.
So the money was given to, the fund was given to the miller And the miller had a contract with the farmers, a group of farmers who were to produce to feed that mill. And part of the money was given to the input dealers so that they would supply the farmer with all the input, including seeds.
I see.
And that is what is called the anko.
I watched the program that inaugurated the 13 million bags.
Yeah.
I noticed governors from different states, and I was quite impressed. So you have the governor from Ekiti State, Fire Me, speaking on behalf of the governors. There was another governor from Cross River, Ebonyi State, Jigawa, and Kebbi. My question, this is the whole country. It's not one side.
Yeah.
Does rice grow everywhere in Nigeria?
Yeah. Rice grows everywhere in Nigeria.
Really?
Especially even in the south where it is very dense. I mean, the forest area.
So you are talking Ekiti, which is southwest, rice grows. You are talking Ebonyi Cross River, which is south-south. Yeah. You are talking Kebbi northwest, Jigawa northeast. All these places grow rice?
Yes, and even Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom also grows rice?
Akwa Ibom, where I was in 2016 for another project, cocoa redevelopment project.
So you are doing cocoa too?
Yes.
Charles Naa is the head of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. We're still on the point of view trying to do a comparative study of Nigeria's rice issues. So Charles, welcome to the show. Good evening.
Thank you, Bernard.
The last time I checked, Ghana produces around 900,000 tons of rice. I don't know whether that's correct. I'm told we have we have about 20 rice mills, but not all are working, so I'm not sure. Can you tell me how much rice we produce per ton? Because my guest says that in Nigeria, when they started the project, they were doing 1.5 tons per hectare. Now they do almost 5 tons per hectare, metric tons. How many tons of rice do we get per hectare in Ghana?
And let me, first of all, congratulate Mr. Odum. Before I even address your question, I want to find out from him, why is he not providing the same services to we, the farmers in Ghana, and rather doing it in Nigeria? Especially he becoming an MP and being part of a government, at least we should have benefit from this expertise. Anyway, but as we go, I know he will explain that. Now, Ghana, as we speak, the yields vary depending on whether you are producing on irrigation or an upland rice. Those who are doing irrigation are able to do up to 3 to 4 metric tons, but those who are doing on upland are still doing between 1 to 1.5 metric tons per hectare. So that is situation. And I think that we have potential to actually do more than Nigerians are doing, because all research conducted on potentials of rice production in Ghana suggests that if you take even central region alone, there was a research conducted by a Japanese researcher commissioned by the Honorable Agric Minister, who said that central region alone has the potential to produce rice that feed the entire country. So which means that we can become net exporter of rice.
The key point I get from Mr. Odum's intervention was that initially the financial institutions were not willing to give them loans because they were not organized, and also because they were not productive. So his advocacy work was to organize the farmer group. So the refund, for example, which is the rice farmers, worked with his group, the Kufuor Foundation, to organize them into cooperatives that could be identified. And then because they were able to increase their yields, they were also able to get fertilizer at a good price. And I'm told, according to the report the central bank governor gave, over 99% of the loans have been recovered. So in the Ghana case, is it not a question of disorganization of the farmer groups, and then also possibly low yields, and therefore your inability to pay back whatever money is giving you, that being the main issue in Ghana?
Yeah, Bernard, I think you are right. But I think that we can overcome all this. You see, if you look at the Fumbisi valleys, I think you were part of the advocacy. Last year, like this, most of the farmers were organized. Personally, I distributed fertilizer to farmers. As we speak, I got calls from some of the valleys that I should come for the money. Last year we did same, and those who got the fertilizer with the guarantee price from Avinas were able to make 100% payment. But now we are not doing that. So that's one of the things. And who is to lead the organization? I think government has a role to play.
Do you know the level of interest they were giving for these loans?
Oh, 9%.
9% per annum.
Yeah.
I see. Across board.
Yeah, 9%.
Which is much lower than our people will ever get here. 9%.
Yeah.
Charles, how much would you get for a loan from any institution to produce rice in Ghana?
The lowest you can get, if you add the administrative charges, they always call it, is between 35 to 40%.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
I'm serious.
It's
Bernard,
true.
you can cross-check that.
35 to 40%.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And it's not only the rates, even the requirement that the banks need from you before you are cleared as a credit ready to get the loan is very high. The collateral requirement and what have you, it's a problem.
Thank you. Just beyond, I just wanted to take your thoughts on, so what made the Nigeria situation work?
It worked because of the reorganization and then reorientation. So now the farmer was psyched that, yes, there's this mill that will offtake your products, right? And the mill will give you, the farmer, the specification, the type of rice. Most of the rice, like you were saying, most of the rice that people don't buy is a result of about two things. Maybe you, as a farmer, you did what we call the miscropping. Faro 44 different types. You planted them combined. So when you harvest, no miller will buy such a rice because it's mixed. And because it's mixed, when they mill, there's so much broken. So this time round, the miller will tell you that I need this type of rice. And then he will instruct the input dealer to supply you seeds for that specific rice. So it is monotonous.
We are still trying to understand the Nigeria rice example with Mr. Abraham Juma Odum, who is a former member of parliament, former deputy minister of two portfolios, consultant for the Carrying Project, worked with the Carrying Project. Carry. Competitive
African Rice Initiative.
Yes.
CARI.
Carry, not Carrying. Carry Project, under the Kufuor Foundation. When we come back, we have some questions people have sent for me to ask you. And also, why you are not doing this in Ghana. I think that's $1 million question. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Point of View. Tonight is more like a case study of a Nigerian case. We are told between 2015 and 2021, they more than quadrupled rice production from less than 1 million tons, about 2.4 million tons, to almost 9 million tons. If you talk about paddy rice, if you even use rice that has been milled, over 5 million tons, they've reduced imports drastically. Some of the numbers are pretty interesting. They have almost stopped importation of rice from Thailand. The central bank no longer funds rice importation. They closed their border to Benin Republic, particularly, to reduce rice. Now, here's a question from David. It says, Bernard, please, Nigeria banned rice importation outright in 2019 when they were not yet self-sufficient in rice production locally. The argument has been made that we must first produce enough before we even start reducing the import quota. Questions to Honorable Odum. 1. Was Nigeria wrong in going for the ban to signal its commitment to local production and get investors, both local and foreign, to bring in the needed money? 2. Was a ban or controlled import reduction part of your recommendations to the government? 3. Would the Nigerian template that he designed for them, known as the Anchor Borrower Scheme, work in Ghana if we adopted the same?
Okay, I would say Nigeria was not wrong in ban. Because Nigeria, after having created the platform and then the infrastructure, saw that there was a need to encourage the rice value chain people.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way they could do was gradual reduction of imports. Then they came to a point in time that they saw that what they were producing was just about enough, or getting to about enough. And the only way they could accelerate the process was to do the banning, so that at least farmers would be more encouraged to do it. So they were not wrong. I mean, that is calculated attempt. And
he's asking whether the ban or controlled import was part of your recommendations.
I think it was part. It was
Really?
part, yes. It was part of our advocacy.
That they should also ban?
Yeah, it was part. That we are ready to produce for Nigeria. And we need some kind of protection. We need some kind of support. And the only way we can be assured that our rice will go is that we don't have that competition coming from outside.
So the next question is, will the Nigerian template work for Ghana?
Yes, it will work.
So can the central bank do the same thing?
Yes.
This so-called anchor borrowers thing?
If we can get the central bank buy-in. If we get the central bank buy-in, then central bank will be able to give loans to the banks, commercial banks, to on-lend to the farmers at a specific, special rate, like the Nigeria one, 9%. And like your contributor, the farmer, peasant farmer was saying, because at the end of the day, you can't take a loan at 35% and then be competitive. And I've told you the program, we call it Competitive African Rice Initiative. Before you can compete with Thailand, Vietnam, and those people, your production costs and the quality have to be very competitive. Other than that, you won't get people to buy your rice. So Ghana is possible, it's doable.
I'm seeing some of the pictures again of you visiting rice mills. Some Chinese man or something wearing a red hat.
Yes.
I see you with Kufuor here.
Yes.
Or a picture of President Kufuor. I see some very bad roads. And were you riding motorbikes?
Yes. Sometimes I'll put the pickup somewhere and then ride on Okada.
What were you telling the farmers when you go on these trips? I see you under trees with people. What were you telling them?
I was telling them Nigeria has no business importing rice. And
so what should the farmers do?
And you are the people who will make that dream come to pass.
But why didn't you tell Ghanaian farmers? Why are you telling Nigerian farmers?
No, Ghana, we have started it also. We started it. And like Abanash was asking you a question. Now I have a program with the mailers. Very soon we are going to start working on it. So we've started something in Ghana as well.
But is it a government? Because what you did in Nigeria, it was a partnership between the Kufuor Foundation,
Bill and then the government.
Yes, but is there a program like that in Ghana?
Yeah, we are on the process of getting that one.
So you have not been commissioned by the Ghana government officially to do anything yet?
Not yet.
I see. Where is there potential in rice for Ghana? Have you thought about which part of Ghana has potential for rice?
All over the country. And like you were saying, Central Region, the Korea report says that Central Region alone can produce all the Ghana.
But I'm told the best rice is produced in the Volta region.
Oh yes, Volta region is another place. Akatsi area there. I've been there. All those places I've been there. Then Aveme, all those places.
But the other problem is people say Nigerians eat their rice, and that when I go to Nigeria, most of the restaurants will serve local rice. Is that the same in Ghana?
We should start the same thing here, especially once we have school feeding and we have SHS free meals. We can start our people young to eat our own rice. And that is one of the areas that we want to be advocating on. Because at the end of the day, if that young lady or a young chap from primary one start eating the local rice, by the time he or she grows, she already loved the rice. She saw me greeting a lady in Nigeria. That lady was the president of the Importers Association.
Really?
And I took my reorganization and reorientation to her. So she bought into the idea that, yes, what you are saying is true. We need to begin to look home, buy from our farmers and the millers. So the question he is asking, we can do a similar thing here, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be patriotic. We're supposed to be creating opportunities for our young ones. And I can tell you that, like you read earlier on, the value chain, the rice value chain, and other agricultural value chains have huge potential to create jobs for our teeming youth who are virtually not getting any jobs to do. So the answer is yes. It's all part of the advocacy, talking to government, talking to the importers. Yes, we know that you want your rice from Thailand, but you can as well also get it here.
I actually want Ghana rice.
Yes.
And I've been eating Ghana rice.
Yes.
In fact, a friend of mine said when you put Ghana rice cooked and foreign rice cooked and leave it for 3 days, the Ghana rice doesn't go bad.
Yes.
Is that true?
But yeah, it's true.
And it's
because
more
most of the
nutritious.
rice that are imported have stayed on the shelves for so many years. Maybe some of them 5 years.
Have you met this government? Because you are not a member of the government, are you? You are a member of the Kufuor government, but you're not a member of this government. You were a former MP.
Yes,
You are not a member. You are not given an appointment.
Yes, yes.
Have you met any official in the Agric ministry
Oh, I
formally
think,
to discuss this?
yes, we met the Minister of Agric.
And what did he say?
2018, thereabout. And we started something like this.
Really?
But I think we need to revamp it. We have to revamp it.
You need to revamp it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Did they give you an award for your work, or they just invited you and gave you funds?
Award? The award I admire is the satisfaction. Yeah, I think that alone is...
Of course, you were a paid consultant to do your work. So you did that.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. Thank you. Charles, if you have any final comments, if not, thank you, Charles Nyaba. I'm sure we'll talk again.
So, I have a quick comment. Bernard, I would actually like to meet Ms. Odum. We have started the campaign. We, the rice farmers and the rice millers, are ready to take the move. We just need him to join us so that we can also benefit from his expertise.
Charles Nyaba, it's always good to talk to him. Great advocate for peasant farmers in the country. Earlier on, we spoke to Mujid Abdul Karim, who's a journalist with the Premium Times, one of our partner media houses in Nigeria, confirming the rice story. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Mr. Juma Odum.
Abraham
Juma Odum, former MP for Atimokwa, former DC for the same place, former Deputy Minister for Local Government and Health under the Kufuor administration, and a consultant for the Carry project, which the Kufuor Foundation partnered with, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as well. Thank you for talking to us. We wish you well. And that's all we have time for tonight's edition of the show. We'll see you next time. The Business Dashboard is next. Good night.